All right, everybody, welcome back to the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. This is Chat and Chow. And as always, I'm your host, Tony DeMakis with Alliance Specialties in Laser Sales, where we do all things laser welding, laser engraving, mold polishing and finishing, hot runner manifold cleaning, and preventative mold maintenance. So really, if you're a mold maker, it's anything that you don't want to do in-house, we can do for you. And we're happy to do that and help you out in any way that we can. We've got a new show today, obviously, with a good friend of mine that I've known for quite some years. And he's MJ Belmont from Westminster Tool. I'm going to bring him in. How are you, my buddy? Oh, I gotta unmute you. Hold on. And I gotta find out why we have an echo. Oh, there it is. No, that's not the one. Man, I hate this thing. All right, unmute yourself there, MJ.
You good?
I hear you.
Awesome.
We've got an echo that I'm trying to figure out real quick. Bear with me. Not that one. That one. Is that better? I think we got it figured out.
Awesome.
Yes, we got it figured out. Man, one of these days I'm gonna get good at this, and there won't be any issues. But that's gonna be not real. That'll be manufactured. So, MJ, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and Westminster Tool, if you would.
Yeah. So I've been at Westminster Tool almost 5.5 years now, more than that. I started back in May 2015, right out of college. I went to Sacred Heart University, got business administration. I've known Ray since I was a young kid. He gave me a great opportunity to come here. We were at a Pats game, watching the Pats. I think it was actually a playoff game. Well, yeah, we were at the Pats talking, and he brought me in for an interview, said, yeah, you got the job. So no manufacturing experience or anything like that. But as I'm sure most people have figured out, our big thing is training, bringing the next generation up, kind of tackling that skills gap.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that strikes me about Westminster so much that I've always loved is the fact that you say that there is, like, you came in with no training, without any manufacturing background. And today, so many people feel like they have to know everything, right? Like they have to come in guns blazing, know everything right off the bat, and it's not the case.
Yeah, no, so I've heard of Westminster Tool when I was growing up, but I literally thought it was like a Home Depot shop. I didn't know what injection molds were or anything like that. But I mean, yeah, we build injection molds for plastic medical components. We have a contract with the government for Joint Strike Fighter. I mean, it's cool. It's pretty cool stuff that we do here. So
I think that's something that we get a lot here, right, at Alliance, where you'll see tools, you'll see parts in the shop, and you don't really realize what they are until
right.
you really examine it and you see how important all of those things are, whether it's medical device parts, IV bags, things for aerospace. I know you guys work on that. It really, really emphasizes how intricate manufacturing is to the United States and to the globe as a whole.
Yeah, and I think we kind of proved that this past year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of keeping the country going.
We talk about that. We bring that up quite a bit on the show, is how during this pandemic, everything from face shields to testing to everything else is made by plastic and essential. And
Right.
I know I'm pretty sure you guys were doing some stuff to help out with that as well.
Yeah, we took, I think they're called like ear guards. We worked with a company. All the nurses and first responders were wanting something to kind of get rid of the irritation they were getting on their ears. And we built a quick 2-3 week mold, and we shot about 10,000 parts, and we sent them off to first aid responders, trying to help them out.
So you already had your first guest in the window. Somebody was back there waving. I don't know if it was Hillary or was it Hannah or was
I
it
don't know.
Kim.
It was one of them, I'm sure.
It was a female Coombs, or not. Hillary's not a Coombs anymore.
No, and she makes sure you know that too.
Does she?
Oh yeah.
The name has changed, but the attitude has not.
Mm-mm.
I said it. You didn't. So what kind of things have you guys been doing? I mean, because I know Westminster is very aggressive in the community and getting involved with different things, with the pause on, the world and being able to go out and do sales and things like that. I know that's an intricate part of your job, right? To be able to go do sales.
Right.
How have you guys managed to get around the situation that we're all in?
Well, I know one thing that we just recently did was we sent out basically like gift boxes, almost kind of welcoming 2021. You survived 2020, the worst year we won't ever discuss ever again type of thing.
Yeah.
So we sent out handwritten cards. I had a Westminster Tool mask, Westminster Tool coffee mug, just trying to stay front of mind of our customers because, like you said, that face-to-face is the best sales tool we have. And with COVID kind of putting a damper on that makes it difficult. So we're trying to come up with more creative ways of getting front of mind of our customers again.
When did those go out?
Last week, I think, actually.
Okay. Have you had any response from it?
Not yet. Not that I know of, at least. So
now the question is, now you got to get the salespeople to call, right? And have that touch point afterwards. Go, hey, just want to make sure you got the care package and didn't get lost in the mail and somebody didn't steal it or whatever else.
Right. Yep. Yeah, no, definitely. I think they went out the end of last week, so I'm sure that's on our to-do later this week, just to make sure everyone got it.
Yeah. Are you guys busy right now?
Yeah, we're busy. Definitely could use more work. We definitely could use more work. We just invested about 10% of our revenue this past year on new equipment. We got a new wire, 2 micron high-speed mills, including a 5-axis, which we're already seeing benefits of. So, yeah, more work. And even last year, I mean, we're taking on new exciting projects that we haven't really taken on before, and we're proving ourselves. So it's exciting, even with difficulties of 2020.
Yeah. And, we always say every time we have a guest on the show, we talk about, 2020 because you can't avoid it. But with all the challenges came new benefits, new opportunities, new ways to rise to the occasion and do things that you weren't doing before.
Right.
What kind of things are you guys doing in that regard? I mean, you said you have new things going on. What does that look like for you?
Just these new opportunities that came to us in regards to injection molds. I mean, we took on some 2-shot molds, some microfluidics, micro molds. We took on some servo and screwing tools, and just all of our team coming together and taking advantage of we were still busy, but we were able to take some of those low points to train our younger guys on the team.
I know I use you guys as an example all the time when we're in our meetings. And I think before my staff even knows you guys, they don't like you because I'm always bragging about how open and aggressive, I use that word again, with training you are on taking people in and teaching them, not just expecting them to know. Can you quickly run us through the process of, somebody applies and then, what does that look like for their path?
Yeah. So we don't look at the resume really. If you apply, you come in for an interview and we will basically judge you on your character. We look for the core values that we have here, being dynamic, being motivated, having integrity and curiosity. And it doesn't matter if you're an entry-level position or if you're someone who was 20 years in the industry with all that experience. We call it the box. It's our production area where they basically get accustomed to the Westminster Tool culture, They're in there about 3-4 months, and after the evaluation, we'll bring them out into the shop floor or design or sales, whichever area they're going into. And I know for our sales and engineering team, we started a new process actually, where no matter what, if you're going into design, you're going into sales, no matter what, you're going to be talking to the customer. So you're going to go through we call it the internal sales assistant position, which was basically where I started. And you're going to be qualifying, you're going to be talking to the customer, you're going to learn more about injection molds because you're going to end up quoting them as well. So each area has their own local orientation that we have here at Westminster Tool, and kind of familiarize with each area, I guess you can say.
Yeah. One of the things I hear from people all the time is it's difficult to cross train, right? You don't want people to be spread thin just because you teach somebody how to polish in a week doesn't mean they can be a polisher. And that's true, right?
Right.
But I think what you guys are doing is unique because you let people get used to a certain way or a certain process of doing things. You keep track of it very well and you train them on it. And then once they get proficient and they can teach somebody else, they kind of move on. It's not saying they're an expert, but
Right.
it's saying that they can do the job and they can train the next person. And if they can train the next person, they can do that. What I like is how you guys do that training part. So can you talk a little bit about how it's like your manual for that position, right?
Right, like Westminster Academy.
Yeah. How does that work?
Yeah, so for, let's see, I'm trying to think of a good example. But so we have Victoria on EDM. She came, actually, she didn't even come from a tech school manufacturing wise. She came from a tech school, but was in automotive. And she got paired up with a coach, we call them. The coach is the subject matter expert. And that person is in charge of basically training that Victoria, the player, in order to go through everything that they have in their mind. Victoria, the player, she is responsible for documenting all of that. So we have like courses, lessons, and there's a proficiency level between every single lesson that you have. So 33% is basically you talked about it. 66% is you were able to do it on your own, but with some help with your player or your coach. And then 99% is you're able to do it on your own. And once you're at a certain threshold of the entire, I guess, the position that you have, so 85, 90%, that's when we're able to look at you and say, okay, you're able to run this position on your own. Now it's time for you to train someone else, basically. And once you train someone else, as soon as you get comfortable, you're off to a new position because you're adding value to the company, being dynamic.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys have had good success with that, right? I mean, it's probably one of the youngest workforces that I know of.
Yep.
And to the best of my knowledge, the quality hasn't dropped, right?
Right. No, we actually, what was it, 2 years ago, our throughput per person increased by 60%, I believe it was.
Yeah.
There were definitely growing pains through this whole transformation, but once we got it, we're reaping the benefits right now. We were only investing in our people for first 4 or 5 years, but like I just said earlier, we just invested 10% of our revenue on new machines.
Right. So. And now you make sure that you have the right people to run those machines where, in the past they may be stuck in their ways and not want to grow or change, or they just want to use the machine that they want to use. Now you have people that are used to change, used to moving around, used to being dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, we have one person who took over, we call them experts. She took over 2.5 subject matter experts in our trade area, and she's more proficient.
Right.
She was faster, quicker, better. I mean, yeah. Right. And it's all because no one told her no, is what we like to say.
Yeah.
They're curious.
And asking those questions of why can't you do this? Why can't it happen this way? Right. How do you do this?
Exactly. Keeping an open mind.
And I would imagine it keeps the day and the weeks and the months going faster because you don't get stagnant in what you're doing. You get
Doing the
to
same
keep
thing
learning
over.
and growing and changing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone wears multiple hats here. I mean, I'm quoting, project management. Sometimes I'll help out in shipping. I mean, however I can flow value to my customer, that's my job title, I guess you
Yeah.
can.
And I love that part too. And I was kind of teasing with, it's a candid conversation concerning customer care.
Yeah.
And I love, because you guys don't have titles on your business cards, right?
No. If you ask me what my specific job title is, I couldn't tell you. Sales. I'd say sales.
Well, that's what it says on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But what I've heard is everybody at Westminster's job is customer service.
Yep.
So what does that look like?
So, yeah. So everyone's job title is customer service, right? So you have your external customer and then you have your internal customer. Obviously, your external customer is who's getting that end product. Where me, I'm in sales, quoting, project management. So we'll stick with quoting for now. I take care of my customer is my external customer and my internal customer. So the company customer and then my internal customer would end up being design, right? I'm quoting a project, I get the 2D, 3D, and I want to get as much information as possible to make my job easier for design. Now, design's job's easier. So now what they're trying to do is the same thing, make their job easier for the next person that touches this job, which would in this case be job processing. And as you go down the line for job processing to the shop floor, and then you can get even more detailed where TROS to EDM, et cetera. It's a snowball effect. And how you're treating your internal customer is only going to reflect how you're treating your end use customer.
And if you're late to your customer, which being like turning over quoting to the next person down the line, right? If you're not getting that in on time, then there's no way that they can get their job on time. There's no way that the other person can get their job done on time, all the way down to the end user where the job's going to be late.
Exactly. Yep. And I mean, you never want to give your customer that bad news, right?
No.
One thing that we strive or that we think is very important is no matter what, I mean, everyone's going to give bad news at least once, right? You don't want to go to your customer saying, yep, this, and this, and that's it. I'm sorry. Sorry is not going to cut it for them. They want to know what you're going to do, right?
Right.
So you want to always make sure that you're going to your customer and you have a solution for the challenge. So whether it's lateness or scrap something, what are you going to do in order to help your customer look good for their customer? Everyone has a customer, right?
Yeah.
So
I think that's key. Everybody has a customer.
Yep.
You got to answer to, everybody has to answer to somebody.
External, internal, it doesn't matter. Exactly.
Yeah. And if you're not following through on your side of things, and you can't deliver for the next person.
Yep, exactly. And I think, so like I said, the first couple of years here, we did a lot of personal development training. We've done customer service training. We've had speakers come here. Simon Bailey is a great example. I highly recommend him. He has some great books. Spark. One quote that really stuck with me is, customer service is not a department, it's a mindset.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's the most kind of, again, going back to how everyone has a customer. And I think I kind of talked about this, but treating your coworkers, your customer, no matter what, treat them as if they're a customer or a guest. And it doesn't just start with me. I mean, I'm sales, right? It's the most important part is your leadership team, right? So here, Ray and Hillary, I mean, they preach it every day. So as long as if they're reflecting it, it'll trickle down to us. And then as we trickle it down through our internal customer, it'll trickle out to our external customer.
I love how
positive experience.
I love how you push that out there, right? Because it's so easy to say, like, from an insider, from outside looking into Westminster, if somebody hasn't been there, if somebody hasn't worked with you guys, if somebody, and I'm like a fanboy for your company. If my brother and my dad and uncle ever kick me out, I'm moving to Connecticut. That's going to be a thing.
We love you here.
Yeah. So I'm a super fanboy, and people on the outside would look at this and say it's fluff, right? It's not real. It's not the way that they are. But knowing you guys, knowing Ray, knowing the whole family, seeing the interaction that you all have, and everybody getting together at the lake as a company, right?
Yeah.
It's real. The culture that you have is real.
Yep.
And it's one thing for you guys to say it's real. It's another thing for me to come in and see that. And if it's one time, it's a fluke, and like, hey, everybody be on their best behavior. We got to put on a good show. But multiple days in a row and everybody getting along and that kind of thing, it's not a fluke. It's real.
Right.
And I think it happens because of the level of respect and understanding that everybody has for each other's job, because they've been through it.
Exactly. And that's a great point. Going back to the whole cross-training thing, we understand how difficult coding is or design is. I was training in design, project management. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on in EDM and hard mode, but I like to go out there and talk to them and say, hey, what do you think of this? And everyone's an open book here. We're always willing to help each other.
Yeah. And I think a lot of teams have that, but I think sometimes they're missing that understanding of what actually goes into doing the other person's job. So the designer for you guys eventually is going to be, or maybe it's vice versa. They're going to be running the parts. Well, now you know what you can and can't do. You have an understanding of those sorts of things. It's not just figure it out, do it.
Yeah. I mean, our tool makers and our designers just came together last week or 2 weeks ago, and they just brainstormed different things. The tool makers had some challenges that design took from them that they'll be able to work with implementing into their new designs as more work comes.
Yeah.
I think another important thing going back to customer service is creating that great experience. Yeah. The reason for that is our goal is always to decrease the cost of sale, right?
Yep.
And how do you do that? Repeat customers.
Yep.
So given that great experience, you have a repeat customer, and then that repeat customer is going to become a raving fan.
That's it. That's what I turned around looking for. Ray told me all about raving fans, and I have the book here. I actually bought the book for all of our sales team to read it.
We all read that
because it's crucial. And when you actually know the difference between a raving fan and a satisfied customer, it's night and day.
Right. Simon says it's going that extra inch, going above and beyond, finding the pain point of your customer, because your customer will have hidden or they'll have external, and then they'll have internal things that they might not be aware of at the time. But once you're curious and digging deeper, you'll be able to find that pain point that your customer has, and you'll make them look even better in the long run.
So does everybody at the company read that book?
Everyone in sales did. I'm not 100% sure if everyone did, but we have a library here, and Ray will preach different books that he thinks will be beneficial for everyone to read. So
that's one of them.
Oh yeah, that one. Any Simon book.
Yeah,
it's a great one.
I remember when I was out there the first time and he was telling me about raving fans, and then I went home and I was walking through like a thrift store or something. I found the Ravings fan books, fan book. And I sent him a picture and I bought it. He was like, read it.
Read
it. Let me know what you think.
It's a really easy read too.
Yeah. Because it's not a self-help book. It's a story.
Right.
And exactly. It's a little bit of a goofy story, which makes it kind of fun because you don't realize that you're learning while you're reading.
Right.
But it's a great story. And just that difference of, a satisfied customer is a customer that just hasn't found a better option yet.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's something that we're actually trying to engage with this coming year, is making sure that we're doing that we're creating raving fans. We're looking at our numbers over the last couple of years, and we've got customers that we maybe did one job with. Well, if we only did one job with them, there's a problem, right? I mean, we went through all the effort. We're in their system.
Right.
They reached out to us, or we reached out to them. We got one job. We did it. We completed it. Now, did we do a good job on it, or was it just okay? So one of our big efforts this year is actually to reach out to customers more in depth and find out how the overall experience was, and not with a survey, but with a phone call, and just making sure the job was successful and there was nothing that we could have done differently or better to exceed their expectations.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exceeding expectations is huge.
Yeah.
The platinum service and whatnot. So, yeah.
That's good, man. What are you guys doing instead of trade shows this year with NPE canceling? And listen, plastics, you're making a big mistake with this no refunds thing. People are not happy.
Yeah, I've overheard conversations in our double wide trailer out there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that nobody from plastics is going to watch this, but if you do, there are a lot of people having conversations about how they're not happy with the way that this is going. And, we want to continue supporting the Plastics Association. We think it's a great thing. I'm speaking on behalf of all the manufacturers that we're going to be at NPE. We all invest a lot of money in that show. And in a crazy year, we need that money to keep our businesses growing. So, man, help us out, will you?
Yeah, please.
So that being said, what are you guys doing instead of shows?
I don't know if we have anything set in stone yet, but I know we've been kind of contemplating maybe hosting like a virtual happy hour type thing, inviting some customers, inviting vendors here and there. I'm not 100% sure, other than kind of like the gift box thing. It's just, I mean, the most important thing is staying front of mind. So just hosting an event or two here and there. I know a couple months ago, Seth and Hillary did like a kind of learning thing about quality that we do here.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, just trying to keep your name out there as much as possible.
I think you had a webinar.
Yeah,
you guys did.
That's the word I was looking for. Webinar. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Training webinar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're having the golf outing September 25th. It's the day after a Merimold. So if anybody watches this, book extra time after a Merimold. We're thinking about making it the biggest golf outing that anybody's ever seen when it comes to mold making kind of a event. We think by September, COVID's going to be long gone, and we're all going to be playing golf together and drinking beer together and networking and growing and having fun. So that's our goal.
Looking forward to it.
And Merimold is in Chicago. I think everybody's going to be jonesing to get back out there and shake hands and kiss babies. And it should be an awesome event. So we're going to work on getting registration up sooner rather than later, so that we can knock all that out. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Yeah. Hopefully I can make it out there.
No, listen, I think we just got to commit now.
All right.
Hillary's watching. She'll
Hillary, I'm going.
Yes, it's done. We got our first golfer. It's a commitment now.
I can't go back. I'm live now.
That's right. 5 people have heard you say that.
Perfect.
No, I think it's good, and I'm glad that you were willing to come on here and do that, do the show and just spend some time. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, same here. It's great seeing you. Virtually.
Yeah, virtually. The only thing we can't do is hug.
Right.
I hug myself and pretend it's you. I can do that. So we always close our show with a prayer, and I know you got a pretty hard stop to do. So, if there's anybody watching and you have a prayer request that you would like us to address, put it in the chat. If you have any quick questions that you'd like us to talk about, put it in the chat. The conversations that we have are for you guys, not just for us. So if there's anything you want to learn about Westminster or Alliance, or just have thoughts about what's going on in the world, put it in the chat. You got anything that you want us to go over or pray for before we get out of here?
Not that I can think of.
All right, we'll give everybody a hot second to think. In the meantime, I was just telling MJ that we have booked up shows. So we went from not doing shows because we got busy to booking all of February and most of March already. So I think next Wednesday we're going to have Mercedes Lanzarote on. She has been very involved in plastics and colorant and things like that. And she started an awesome thing on Instagram called WTF Manufacturing, where in a funny way she explains different parts of manufacturing. It's great. I love her energy and her personality. And then Dustin Brewer is going to be on the following Wednesday. He is one of the members of the Dale Carnegie Institute of Sales. So we're going to have him on and talk about sales and strategies and things that people can do in an off year and how to maximize potential. And then Brenda Clark from Hasco will be on. Tina Zwolinski from Skills Gap talking about, something that you guys are really good at, bridging the gap in skills and finding the right people and how to do that. Michael Gukas from Gardner Business Media is going to be on. We've got all kinds of good things to talk about on there about the age gap and how to take the knowledge that we've been given as 40 something year old people, how we've gotten knowledge from the seasoned people, the 40s, 50s, 60s, people that have been in the industry for a long time, and how it's now our responsibility to pass that knowledge on to 20-year-olds and what that looks like. And David Masato from the plastics engraving department at UMass Lowell will be on March 24th to talk about what's going on there. He's a board member with the Society of Plastics Engineers Mold Technology Division with me. And it'll just be good to talk to him about what he's seeing in a different way and what's going on. So I'm excited for all the different people that we're going to have to talk to and just the way that people are gravitating towards being willing to do this. And
it's a great show. I love it.
All right, I'm gonna pray for us real quick, and then I'll let you get to your next thing. Heavenly Father, thank you for this time with my friend MJ and his company. Thank you for allowing Westminster to be an organization that builds up leaders and teaches people the right way to live, not just build great tools. Thank you for all the ways that you train us and challenge us and make us better each and every day. Thank you for the difficult times because you have a purpose for it. And we know that your ways are always good. We ask you to pray for our country and our leadership, whether you like them or not. They are the leaders that you appointed, and they need your guidance, as we all do. And so we just look forward to this virus going away, and we ask you for health and safety and prosperity for those watching and listening. And we thank you and we love you. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. My friend.
All right, Tony.
Good to see you as always. I can't wait till it's in person.
Same here.
Whenever that might be. But give everybody there a big hug for me if that's allowed. If it's not, give them a virtual hug and tell them I miss them.
You got it.
All right, buddy. Thank you for everything. I'll talk to you soon.
No problem. Take care.
All right, bye. All right, everybody. I just want to thank you once again for watching, listening to the show. If you like it, pass it on. If you don't, let me know why. Give me some feedback. I want to try and get better at what we're doing and bring value to you and your organizations and your team in any way that I can. So on behalf of myself and Lions Specialties and Westminster Tool, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Say take care and God bless.